Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Tracy Filigenzi. We're going to be discussing her amazing book, The Special Little Star. Available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much wherever books are sold. But check out the publishing company, cityofbooks.com today to grab copies of your book. And if you haven't figured it out already, Tracy was brought to our network, People of Distinction, by that same publishing company. So listen to me. If you're a writer out there, you've written a book, and now you find yourself at what appears to be a dead end because, well, now you need help moving the book you just wrote. Well, I'm going to give you some fantastic advice. Contact City of Books. They're one of the best in the business to do it, and people, I mean it, this is what they specialize in. So head on over to cityofbooks.com today and gather all of the ways that their fantastic team is going to help maximize your creative endeavors. And listen, it is a true pleasure to have Tracy here on the line. Now, The Special Little Star, the moment you start to do research on it, you're going to understand the journey you're going to be taking with your children. And without further ado, Tracy is the expert. She's written this fantastic book, and she is going to be able to articulate it all much better than I ever could. So do me a favor, sit back and strap in. This is going to be a wonderful ride, and by the time we've concluded here today, you're going to run to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and cityofbooks.com and purchase your copies. Tracy, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
Beautiful. Well, listen, welcome to the network. We're truly honored to have you here to discuss it. I'm really loving what you're doing here, Tracy. I think that this is a special book with so much to offer and a lot of valuable lessons to be gained. Now, before we go into the narrative itself and learn a little bit more about it, tell us about yourself and your background, please.
Well, I was born on Staten Island, New York, but raised upstate New York, where we just were all the time.
Mm-hmm.
My sister landed up getting frostbite up there.
Oh, wow.
So later on, my father drove all the way from New York to California. Lived in California for just a little bit, not even the whole year. He had a falling out with his sister who lived next door. So he drove away to live somewhere else. Didn't want to go back to New York because it's so cold. Drove out to Las Vegas, Nevada. When we got out to Las Vegas, Nevada, the car caught on fire. And we've been here ever since then.
Oh, man. You know, thank you very much for that. And listen, I just want to touch up on something. When you mentioned that your sister had frostbite, well, listen, I'm a New England boy through and through. So I remember those New England winters, and they are not fun. They are not fun. And that brings me back. It's the moment you said that, I was starting to shift through my Rolodex of memories and all of the winters that I got caught in with my older brothers. And, you know, they're fun for a little bit. And then you get close to that frostbite. Or maybe I had frostbite before. I'm not really sure. But there have been some times where if I didn't, I got very close. Not very fun. But welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being a guest. Tracy, without further ado, the anchor is all about your fantastic narrative, The Special Little Star. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, this book, one day I was just reading my daughter stories, at night, bedtime stories and everything.
Yeah.
And I ran out of stories. So I was like, why don't I just write one? I went to the kitchen table, tried to do it, and I prayed.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed to God to give me something to write. And then within about 10 minutes, I wrote that book.
Wow.
What I did when I first wrote it, I actually had it on construction paper.
Oh, wow.
And I stapled it together. My son, when he was in school, he actually read it over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't initially going to go here next, but after that, I can't go anywhere else, Tracy. Now, you talk about how this urge just kind of suddenly peaked and you wanted to write this book. You prayed about it and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now you got it done. Well, when it comes to writing, Tracy, was this a hobby of yours growing up? Did you always want to be a writer? Were there other writers that inspired you? Talk to us a little bit more about where that love for writing comes from.
Actually, I never was a writer or of anything. I was more of an artist and drew pictures of lots of different things. But that's the first time I ever done this, and I couldn't do it without him.
Yeah. Well, for the urge to write a book, I mean, I know it kind of came suddenly, but was there a particular impetus that put you on that journey?
No, just basically to give my daughter a story at night to read.
There you have it.
A bedtime story. That's what it was supposed to be, just a bedtime story. I never even imagined that it would actually be published or anything.
Well, that brings up a fantastic segue question. I mean, because of course this could have been a book that stayed on your personal shelf or, just something that you verbally told those around you. But you took it that step further and you published it for the masses. And we are so happy that you did. But what inspired you to do that, Tracy?
My daughter. She's the only one. She's the only reason that it's written in the first place.
Yeah.
She's 31 now.
I love this. Well, two-part question here with this next one, Tracy, but who would you say is your intended reader with the book? And what is the main message that you hope that they receive after completing it?
Basically just the birth of Jesus and that you cannot do anything without him being there. You can try and try and try, and if he's not there, you're going to just be trying and trying. But once Jesus comes in, you're able to do just about anything you can. Mm-hmm. Just like it says in one of the verses. It says, I can accomplish all things through Jesus who strengthens me.
People, I'm telling you, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, cityofbooks.com are the places you have to go. The Special Little Star is the title you have to pick up, and Tracy Filigenzi is the author you have to thank for bringing it to your table. Curiosity for myself here with this next one, Tracy, but what would you say was a highlight for you in writing the book? Or if not a highlight, maybe something that surprised you that you weren't anticipating before you began on this journey?
I just wanted to write a book. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there, taking care of her, living life. And one day it just came up, just to write a book.
Curiosity again here for myself, but you mentioned before that the book just came out of you, all right? I mean, the inspiration hit after you prayed and you were able to write the entirety of it. Well, Tracy, can you describe a moment during that where your own characters or your story took on a life of its own, surprising even you as the author?
Well, it surprised me that it actually came out, because I've never written little stories. I've never written any poetry, never written any things before at all. Mm-hmm. And then when that came out, it's like, wow. And I told people about it, and they said, why don't you get it published? It just came out of nowhere.
In diving down the rabbit hole here a little bit, Tracy, but if you could enter the world of the book that you've created, which page would you land on and why?
Probably right when the star saw Jesus. Right there when the star was around and everybody that was there with him. It'd be on page 13.
There you have it. And why would you choose that particular instance, Tracy?
Because that's when when everything took a turn for everything, for right there, in that one particular spot. Mm-hmm. That's where everything just happened, and just the energy and everything just basically happened.
You know, Tracy, in addition to this just being a great story that children are going to be able to journey upon, I know that it's filled with illustrations, and there's a really unique aspect to it that somebody else had posed to you. Maybe it wasn't intentional on your part, but now children are able to utilize that. Talk to us a little bit more about the illustrations found in your book and how children can use them.
The illustrations are basically just drawings. And if they wanted to, a friend of mine asked me if it was a coloring book. I told her, no, it isn't, but I looked at the illustrations and they can actually color, like it's a coloring book also.
Tracy, as we close out here, I'm an artist myself, and I'm in a different medium, of course, but I love having this platform to always pay it forward whenever the opportunities present themselves. Now, Tracy, whether this was a hobby of yours growing up, something that just kind of hit you in a random moment, bottom line is you've gone through the gauntlet of getting your book written and even gone through the adventure of getting it published. So you are a bona fide author with a lot of wisdom to be able to share. So I want to take this opportunity for any new writers out there listening in right now. What are some words of wisdom that you'd like to offer them about the journey they're getting ready to take?
Keep Jesus in the center of your life. And when you're really trying to do something, don't get frustrated if you can't get it done. But always remember that Jesus is there to guide you through everything there is to go through. And he's always going to be there to help you get everything done.
There you have it. I love that. Love that advice. People, we have done a 360 because we are back where we started. You know, as she has said, everything can be completed with Jesus' assistance by your side. I love that notion. And I know many of you do as well. I'm going to say it for you one last time. I know I don't have to, but let's just re-impress it, okay? Because we're here on the line with the fantastic Tracy Filigenzi. We just finished discussing her amazing book, The Special Little Star, available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, City of Books, pretty much wherever books are sold. Head on over there today, pick up your copies, and get lost in it. I'm telling you, this is a wonderful journey that you're going to want to embark upon with your kids with a great message that they can take to the bank. And what a great foundation piece to really set them up with. I mean, I'm telling you, guys, this is a book you're going to want to add to your shelf. And I'm going to take it a step further. Not only is it a book you want to add to your shelf, but it's a better gift for you to get for someone else to add to theirs. You know where to go. Head on over there today, pick up your copies, and you can thank me later. Tracy, this has been an absolute pleasure, okay? A wonderful delight. Thank you very much for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you.